Hello and welcome to Gas It Out after a Catalan Grand Prix that left us, I don't know, more relieved than entertained, I suppose. We moved to one of the most spectacular racetracks this weekend on the whole MotoGP calendar. It is, of course, Mugello and the Italian Grand Prix. And I am pleased to say that I have two Renaissance figures extraordinaire from the world of MotoGP. Joining me, as always, of course, it's Sylvain Guintoli and Neil Hodgson. Good morning, chaps. How are you both? How's your time? It's felt, I don't know about you guys, but it's felt like a long time since, it's like we've been through some kind of trauma last weekend. It's felt like a long time, this 1 week that we've had in between races, heading to the Italian Grand Prix. How do you feel about it, Sylvain, getting back to racing after what we saw in Barcelona?
Well, I can't wait, actually. I think it'll be good to go to Mugello. There's a lot to look forward to as well, you know, with Ducati versus Aprilia contest that's going on at the minute, and obviously after what happened in Catalonia, I think we're all looking forward to see some racing again and sort of move on from it, because I think we all feel from that one that we sort of like dodged the bullet, and we want to get back on track. Hopefully, want to wish the best recovery as well to Alex and Joan. They've sustained injury. They've got a long recovery ahead of them. But yeah, really looking forward to Mugello. It's always a good one, Mugello, isn't it? It's one of the proper tracks. There's always some great battles. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, what about you, Neil? Is it just me, or has it felt like less than, we spoke 7 days ago reviewing that race? Is it just me, or does it feel like about 3 weeks since Barcelona happened? I don't know why.
I think it's just you, Gav. It feels like I spoke to you about 30 seconds ago. I think
you did. You called me before this, but you couldn't get your computer to work.
Yeah, because I couldn't log on. So no, it don't feel like a long time. I was actually then just looking at the calendar, thinking, "Wow, we've got 4 races in 5 weekends." This is the heart of the championship. This is the period where you have to try and gain some momentum, confidence, feeling. All the comments we hear from the riders, this is where the championship's won or lost, I think. So, of course, every point of the championship's important. But like I say, we're 4 races in 5 weekends at the classic tracks. Obviously, tracks like Mugello and Assen and Brno and places like that coming up. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. I love, like Sylvain says, like you say, there's something special about Mugello, isn't there?
You didn't mention Balaton. Obviously, we're back to back with.
Oh my God!
You did mention the fact we're back to back with that.
I can't believe Balaton Park's on the calendar. When you go there and you've done this job as long as we have, and we travel the world and we go to the best circuits in the world, and we really do, and you turn up at this track. I think, was it built by some wealthy chap who built it to do track days on? It's just not a world championship circuit. It's bizarre. It's this weird track with zero flow, quite dangerous. Really tight corners. That is right at the bottom of.
Well, shall we say, if we have Balaton Park at one end of the scale, Mugello in terms of the grandeur, the spectacle, the place that you go to, is one of the venues, isn't it? I liken it always to people who perhaps don't follow the championship as closely, or maybe they watch Formula One. I don't know. I see it as MotoGP's Monaco. I don't mean in terms of the racetrack, because obviously it's flowing, it's fast, it's got everything going on. You can overtake as well, unlike the Monaco. But it feels to me, Sylvain, like the jewel in the crown. You've ridden for Italian teams, you've ridden in the Italian Grand Prix. There's something special, isn't there? There's something magical in the air in those Tuscan hills. It's a beautiful backdrop. The track, the ribbon of racetrack just follows around the hillsides, up one side of a valley, down the other. There's yew trees in the background. There's little castles and little palaces and churches. It is, isn't it? It is like a picture perfect place to race. And I suppose it vies for Phillip Island as the most dramatic of sceneries. Do you agree?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Gav. It's one of the greatest tracks in the world. It's a special place. It's got the massive that you don't really see on TV as well. If you've never been to Mugello, there is so many elevation changes, so many places to pass, such a technical place. And it's a beautiful place. It's smooth and it's fast and flowing, and there's just no bad sections in it. And like Neil said, I'm actually really glad that after the weekend we've had in Catalonia, that we're not going to a track like Balaton. That would feel so wrong, going from the chaos that we had in Barcelona to a track where potentially, again, you could have, another carnage. I'm not saying it can't happen, but we are going to one of the best, one of the historicals, and one where really, as a head-to-head, how the season has started with Aprilia versus Ducati and the back and forths. And last time, Ducati was super strong and has come back stronger in Jerez after the test in Jerez in Catalonia. We've got a really strong really strong story with these two manufacturers at home. They're both in their back garden, and they're going to go head-to-head. Aprilia is on great form. They've got, we know what they can accomplish since the start of the year, and Ducati's back. We're also going to have Marc Marquez back. We don't quite know in which condition he's going to be, but yeah, we've got a great weekend of racing ahead.
Yeah, it is going to be a spectacle. It's going to be spectacular. I suppose we should get to the first points first of all that you mentioned there, Sylvain, and that is. My dog's going wild in the background, so apologies if you can hear Winnie going. Well, I'm expecting scaffolders, and they've just turned up. Obviously, right on cue, just in the middle of the recording of the podcast. I have left
go and get the dog.
Out of the drive.
Just go and get him.
Well, set Winnie on the scaffolders. She's not that kind of dog. Yeah, it's probably right, Neil. We should talk about the missing riders first of all. Alex Marquez, Johann Zarco. We don't know who's going to replace Johann yet. We found out that Michele Pirro is going to be standing in as he did at the start of the year for Fermin Aldeguer. So he'll be back into the familiar surroundings of the Gresini team. Alex out for at least 2 races. Johann, goodness knows how long that's going to be. I'm guessing that Taka Nakagami, potentially, they're testing in Misano while we speak. So I'd say that's the most logical thing because Alicia's obviously out of action. And it looks like, Neil, that Marc Marquez is going to be back, or at least he's going for a fitness test on the Thursday before the race. Is that tactics? Anything? Is that, I don't know. How are you reading it? 'Cause there's been very, very little noise emerging from Ducati or Marc.
Yeah, all the inside gossip that I was getting at Barcelona was Marc is not as bad as you would think. This shoulder situation is fixable. It wasn't a big operation, and he's definitely going to be back in Mugello. That was they were the rumours, and I remember thinking, I'd be sort of surprised if he was back in Mugello. It's not a lot of time. Obviously, he's broken his foot as well, 2 bones in his foot. It's not like that's nothing, and you'd sort of have to say the championship's gone. So I'm like, I can't see him rushing back if he's not 100% fit, or even if he's only 90% fit. Pardon?
Or has it? Or has it gone? Or has it?
Well, it's gone, hasn't it?
85 points. 85 points. He won by more than that last year.
I know. It's gone.
And he missed 5 rounds, didn't he? At the end of,
It's not.
Gav.
Ducati are back.
It's not gone.
It's definitely gone.
It's not gone.
85
Absolutely
points.
not.
Well, you'd have to say if he came back this weekend, he's not going to do the double, is he?
Isn't he?
Well, we don't know that.
He did it last year. And listen, we are.
I can't believe you of anybody, Neil Hodgson, you're ruling out Marc Marquez. I mean, what's going on? Are you all right? Look, is the sun from yesterday? Have you got sunstroke?
I've taken my Marc Marquez t-shirt off. I've got my Marc Marquez underpants on though. Don't worry. So
yeah, can we have a look at those? So, I can't believe it. He's not out there, is he? He's not 85 points. It's these 85 points, Gavin.
That's the discussion, isn't it? So there's only one reason he's coming back, even if he's not 100% fit, is because he believes there's still a chance. I think would you agree? That's the only reason he's coming back.
Must be.
Because he's not right round in 5th place, is he?
Yeah, no. I also wondered whether it was the case of just coming to have a fitness test, as in keeping everyone else guessing a little bit, and actually just coming, not intending to ride. I don't know. But it's a brutal place to come back as well. Isn't it?
Test his physical strength, on the bike, like as in do the Friday and see how it goes.
and sit it out. Just have a ride of a field. You don't get a chance to really ride bikes like this. But I tell you what, it's a brutal track to do it on, isn't it? When we're talking about top speeds, like top speed record here, 366.1 kilometers an hour. That's 227 plus miles per hour. That's the absolute top speed record. The top speed record in Barcelona was broken last time out. There is every chance that it's going to go again, isn't there? The last time that we'll have chance to do it with the 1000 cc's. You break down into San Donato turn 1,
so
from
physical.
that 227 over a crest, and you're fighting the bike over there.
Well, you break on angle, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's why it makes it more physical, because the bike always swaps at that sort of speed. So then the only way you're trying to correct it is it's all going through your body, through your arms, you're forcing it. And that's before you even start one change of direction. And how many changes of direction are there? Like 10.
15, isn't it? As in it's 15 quarters, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's the track that there is nowhere to hide. It wears you out. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it flows, but it takes a lot of input from the rider, a lot of strength, a lot of technique. And the faster you see those, let's say, those S sections, the more physical the bike is. It just doesn't want to turn. It wants to go straight. The gyroscopic effect of the wheels, the mass, the discs, everything rotating. Yeah. Before you even start talking about the all that aero on the bike, which again just basically makes the bike want to go in a straight line. So yeah, there's nowhere to hide. And then also, I always say this when at Mugello, you sit inside that valley, the beautiful Tuscan valley of Mugello, but when it's hot and humid, the heat just rises there, and it's torturous for the riders.
In recent years, Sylvain, it's been Ducati territory. Marc Marquez last year, Pecco Bagnaia 3 years in a row before that. The Yamaha actually have won more than Ducati over the years, with those years of Valentino Rossi having dominance. Jorge Lorenzo won a couple of times, 3 times, I think it was. Fabio Quartararo actually won recently. So the Yamaha have always had success. Well, not expect that this weekend, of course. But I just wonder then what that means in terms of the title battle. Obviously, we come here with Marco Bezzecchi. He's leading the World Championship on 142 points. He actually, despite a terrible weekend, really, in Barcelona, he was lucky. He was lucky to escape with a 4th place on Sunday. Other people crashing out, all that. He only scored 1 point in the sprint. It just did not work. Temperature, it feels like the temperature is critical for that Aprilia in terms of getting the tyres in their working window, that sort of thing. But he still has a 15-point lead over Jorge Martin in the championship. But Aprilia haven't got the greatest of records. Only Aleix Espargaro with a podium in 2022. And another Premier Class podium in Mugello. Do you guys remember? You should remember. Sylvain, you should remember you were there.
Was it McWilliams?
Was it with the 400?
Was it McWilliams?
In 2000.
Yeah.
That's it. Was that the 400 they had, that bike? Or was it a 450 or 400 or something like that?
Yeah, something like it was like a... It was a
smaller version so Aprilia hasn't got a great record versus Ducati in Mugello, but then, this year is different, isn't it? I mean, if you think Le Mans, Aprilia did it not been on a podium in Le Mans ever, and then they obviously won 1, 2, 3. So it's difficult to compare. What we know though is that Ducati seems like they've sort of they're getting better, and they're putting everything together. That little bit that was missing, and if there's one place where it is Ducati territory, it's in Mugello. So this Grand Prix is going to be really interesting because of that. I mean, last year I think it was top 4 Ducati last year. They dominated. Digi really likes it as well in Mugello. He's quick, and obviously
first ever pole was there.
Yeah, yes, it was. Well, that was in mixed condition, but still, that was a first pole, and he was fast. He was fast the last few years. He's always been good in Mugello, and with the form that he's carrying this season, leading Ducati, he's not far. He's clawed back a lot of points at the championship. In Barcelona. 3rd in the championship, DG. So he's going to be really good as well. Obviously, Pecco there has won
26 behind Sylvain. Just for
so 20
to 3rd, 26 points behind.
26. That is not a lot. That is not a lot. And like I said, he's recovered loads in Barcelona. So we're gonna get this. For me, this is the first one where we're really gonna get the Aprilia v Ducati. The Ducati is gonna be strong for sure. Pecco Bagnaia is always strong as well with all the victories he's had there. And we've got the Aprilias coming in. Jorge Martin is gonna be. I don't know what Jorge Martin we're going to get because he crashed 6 times in Barcelona.
What's the latest
between the
with
weekend
him?
Plus the test.
What's the latest after that test?
We heard that it
didn't look good. Did
the last one was he got away with it. I think he got away with it, and apparently it was a massive one, and he got away with not any injuries. And I've seen stuff on social media where he was training, cycling, and so. I think he's fine.
What they didn't show is when Paolo Bonora gave him it back, did they? They didn't show that when he absolutely lamped him in the truck afterwards.
It wasn't the 6 crash. It was Paolo doing like a elbow descent on him.
On WWE.
Well, he probably should have as well. Anyway,
actually, they're a match for each other. He's not massive either, is he? They're sort of like Jorge small, Paolo small. I think it'd be quite a good.
It'd be a good challenge. That. Yeah. So we don't know what Jorge Martin is. Who small Jorge Martin is going to turn up. I think he's going to be feisty. I think we can all agree on that. And then you got Bezzecchi. He's at home. It's his Grand Prix. Is he going to be able to replicate the form that he had at the first 3 Grand Prix with the first 3 victories? I was looking Raul Fernandez. He's fighting for a ride.
So, Sylvain, I was looking at Bezzecchi's form there. It's actually not been that good at Mugello, weirdly. I glanced this morning, assuming he'll have been strong there throughout his career, and he weirdly, certainly in MotoGP, has not done anything outstanding, which is a bit of a surprise. Like compared to Digi, like you said, Digi goes well there, really well there. So
it's a highlight for Digi. But then, it is true. So we'll see, and then Augura as well. I mean, is he going to be there? It's likely because he's getting stronger and stronger. Okay, he made a big mistake in Catalonia, but he was in there for the podium fight. So we're gonna get that battle, aren't we? So that's gonna be pretty cool.
You've been an Aprilia factory man, Sylvain. Neil, you've been a Ducati factory man in your days. You've done a lot of work around Mugello. This weekend, there's a presentation on the Thursday night, a centenary presentation for Ducati. I don't know whether it's a new bike. I'm not sure. A lot of press have been invited to this event that they're holding in their hospitality unit. So on the weekend that Ducati are celebrating this centenary of existence, surely there's nothing more that Aprilia would like to put one over Ducati. It is in their backyard, where we are an hour and a half down from Bologna. What can you just tell me from Ducati's point of view, Neil, first of all, what the Italian Grand Prix means, what things like the centenary, what it means to have like the special livery that they had last year, to do it here in the backyard of Bologna. Can you explain what that feels like to be within the factory?
Well, there's genuinely just extra pressure and there's extra PR duties. Don't get me wrong, if you're Pecco Bagnaia and you're Marc Marquez, whichever country you go to, there's a lot expected of you. There's always PR events attached to your general weekend, but you come to Mugello and like you said, that is the home race. And I know, like, it's sort of situated almost, the factory is sort of situated between Mugello and Misano, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the other side of the mountains, really, from Mugello. Yeah. Like you have to come through the Apennines, don't you? But
having raced for Ducati at both tracks, Mugello always felt like the home race. It really did. Mugello felt like more pressure, but like I said before, when the track sits in that valley, and I think you feel the pressure in there because then the fans are all around you. It's got that natural amphitheatre feel to it. The paddock sits in the bottom, doesn't it? The car parks are above. Yeah, everyone's looking down on you, and everyone expects. And think of the intensity of a Davide Tardozzi. You know what he's like. Gigi Dall'Igna. These are serious men who don't come racing for the joy of it, for the fun of it. They're coming to do a job, to win, and they have to win. And that's the way they will speak to their riders. It's like, this is the weekend, you must win. And that'll be the pressure. And maybe that's part of why Marc's coming back, They can't rely on Pecco Bagnaia, can you? No one can you? Really? I mean,
that was my question. Actually,
is
it time for Pecco to step up in this? Because actually, it hasn't looked that bad, has he? In terms of on the bike, he's had these sprint podiums in a row. He looked all I mean is he looked a lot better under braking, that kind of thing in Barcelona. He's won here 3 times in a row.
But none of us here now we start talking about it. Get your wallet out, then, boys. Anyone confident they're going to put?
Yeah, you wouldn't put a bet on it.
Yeah, you wouldn't put £1 on him for the main race, would you? Because you'd be like, well, I'm just throwing a quid away. You just wouldn't, because obviously you just look back at all the results. There's always a reason and an excuse or a problem or whatever it is. It just does not seem to happen, does it? So, and Ducati will know that better than anyone. So they can't rely on him. They'll be relying on Digi, won't they? Obviously, Alex Marquez is out. Marc Marquez can't be fit. He can't be, can he? And if you look at Marc Marquez's results this year, he's done very, very little. Obviously, I know the problems with the shoulder and all that. So, yeah, you'd say the pressure's probably on Digi from the big bosses. And you know what the factory's like? They'll have their arm around Digi, won't they? They'll be giving him the little whispers. Come on, we've always liked you.
They also know that Pecco's on his way to Aprilia, don't they? And I know that Digi, it sounds like he's on his way to KTM. There was that aside from the behind-the-scenes video of Valentino Rossi saying to him after he won the race, "Are you sure you want to leave us?" It's clearly he's on his way to KTM. But the Pecco to Aprilia thing makes it even more interesting, with this being such a crunch point of the Italian manufacturers. When we come back from a quick break, we're just going to ask Sylvain about riding for Aprilia as a factory and if they see themselves as a smaller part in that battle. Welcome back to Gas It Out. We were talking before the break about the Ducati Aprilia rivalry. Neil gave Ducati's side of the story. I just wonder, Sylvain, having been an Aprilia factory man yourself, obviously the Piaggio group's massive, bigger than Ducati by far. But in terms of brands, huge. Aprilia versus Ducati, Aprilia is the smaller, well, not sibling, but the little rival, the little one to the bigger bully in the Italian playground. So how do Aprilia view themselves? And we talk about this being a big home race for Ducati. They've dominated in recent years. How will Aprilia be looking at this event this weekend?
Well, I think Aprilia, since they got to MotoGP, they've always sort of had this. They've had this building up phase, putting it all together, and then they started performing step by step. And obviously, they've stepped up a lot since let's say the middle of last year. They made these huge steps. But even though now you could arguably say that they've got the best bike on the grid, they still see themselves as outsiders. They still like, and I think they like that, because every time we speak to Massimo Rivola, Paolo Bonora in the paddock, they don't want to put that pressure on themselves or on the riders. They want to be the outsiders. They want to be the challengers, and that is a way, I think, to relieve a bit of pressure. So I think they're going to still go into that, even though they're leading the championship with 2 riders, the P1 and P2 at the championship. They're going to go into every single race as a challenger. And this gives you, and they know that, and that's why they do it. That's why they sort of like try and cultivate this within the team, because that gives them a little bit of less pressure. That gives them a little bit more of a, let's say, less pressure on the riders, and I think they're gonna go into Mugello like this, and they're gonna be thinking, we know we're strong, but we don't go as favorites despite what's happened, since the start of the season. It's still not there. We still don't want to admit we got the best bike. We still don't want to say that we are the favorites for the championship, and we're gonna go for every single race with this attitude. I love that. Because also, there's nothing better than a challenger or an outsider winning. I think I love that kind of setup. But yeah, they're gonna go. I think they're gonna do the whole season like that. And even if they lead the championship at some point with a massive gap, they still will go into the races like that. They'll try and conserve that sort of approach to racing within the team like that. So with us, for example, as when we go and speak to them with the TV, with TNT. They've that's how they've been since the start of the year, and I think that's how they're going to be. But it's not a bad place to be, because, like I said, it's a way of relieving pressure from the riders. It's just basically telling them just go out, enjoy yourself, do your best. But it doesn't matter if you don't win. We want you to win, but it's not. We're we're still building there. We're still going to get better. So just, so the pressure is very different. And then with Ducati, like Neil said, you've got Ducati there that comes in. I mean, I had this picture in my mind as Neil was describing it, with the amphitheater and the pressure that is on. I've had this, have you seen the film? Is it Spartacus, where they're in this arena, they're racing with the horses and the carriages, and you've got, is it Julius Caesar's? So that's Gigi Dall'Igna with the laurels on his head, like at the top, just watching the warriors, like battling it out and fighting in front of the public. It's a bit like that, isn't it? With Ducati, the pressure is massively on because they've dominated. It's their turf, it's their ground, and they are the men to beat. So yeah, but I think like you said, actually, I think that DJ is going to really embrace that because he loves the pressure this year. He knows he's strong, and he loves everybody talking about him being strong and being seen as strong. He's got a bit of a cheeky attitude as well. What he did on Acosta in Le Mans, looking back and all that. He's full of confidence, isn't he? So I think DJ is this season and particularly in Mugello, he's going to be so revved up. He's going to be basically at his peak. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do because I really do think that he's going to deliver there.
Yeah, and obviously Valentino Rossi, his boss, had a lot of success there over the years. Most successful rider. Yeah. Mugello, he had those 7 in a row, which were, I remember living through those years. It's nothing like having stood on the podium, behind the podium, but to see the crowds underneath it when Valentino won in Mugello. There is a few sights, when you guys have stood on top of the podiums and seen those kind of things, but for a layman like myself to be there and just see the people underneath the podium and, people who've brought their bikes down onto the track and doing all kinds of things. You see all sorts of weird and wonderful things around the racetrack there with that track invasion in Mugello. And for an Italian to do it, he's got that kind of, I don't know, that enjoyment of the pressure, enjoyment of the life that you can imagine it being a kind of weekend for him. Are we just then focusing a bit too much though, Neil, on Ducati and Aprilia? Pedro Acosta led both the sprint and the main race when we were in Barcelona. He was fastest in the test on Monday. I know it rained halfway through the day, track was rubbered in, so on and so forth. Are we doing Pedro a disservice to suggest that he might get himself into the mix?
Well, Pedro will be in the mix, and Pedro's definitely riding as good as he's ever ridden, and it looks like the KTM is still improving, but the facts are the facts. If you look, like, he's still not had a victory. It's unlikely he's going to get a victory, really, because it looks like the bike isn't quite there. It's almost there, isn't it? I mean, if you saw how well he rode in Barcelona, and he was, 3 laps off the victory, or 4 laps off, and then it just fell off a cliff edge, didn't it? He just riding around on the absolute limit with his burnt out tyres. So I can't sit here and feel confident that, like, Pedro doesn't spring to mind for this weekend.
And it's not a low grip track. No, but it's not a low grip track, is it? That was the other thing, wasn't it, from Barcelona that sort of played in KTMs in terms of track itself. Mugello's quite decent, isn't it? Well, it has been in the past.
Yeah, it gets a bit greasy in the afternoon if it's super hot. If it gets over 50 degrees track temperature, then it does feel quite greasy. But yeah, like I said, Pedro will be there or thereabouts, but a little bit like Pecco Bagnaia. I know he's obviously performing better than Pecco, but I wouldn't sit here and put any money in his direction. You'd be like, I genuinely feel, and I think you, and I'm sure you guys are the same, it's between Ducati and Aprilia. And the other manufacturers, Honda, they're still improving, and Yamaha, where Yamaha are, they'll... Quattararo will probably do a really good lap in qualifying, won't he? I'm almost looking to see what Fabio can do. A little bit like in Le Mans, like he can do something special. But one thing I was thinking,
there were better signs there weren't there in Barcelona and in the test for Yamaha. It looked like
a little bit.
It looks like they're starting to put pieces together. Definitely. I'm encouraged by it. I have to say that.
Yeah, me too. You saw right there. There were signs when Jack Miller had good sessions, well inside the top 10. One thing I was thinking, I felt like looking back at Barcelona, that was Toprak's first real bad weekend, I'd say. He was like quite adrift from the other Yamaha riders. Didn't look comfortable whenever it showed him on track, and and that's what Top Rack's up against. I think Mugello's going to be a tough one for him this weekend because everyone knows it so well, and it's not been a superbike track, has it? I'm sure he's been around there, but it's finding those little secrets of the track. And
what are the secrets? What are the secrets of Mugello then? What's the one thing then, chaps, that you're going to need on point to win in Mugello this weekend?
What's so different about Mugello is it's not an obvious track. It's not what Casey Stoner would call a curb to curb to curb, where it's really clear and obvious. All these S sections, some parts of the track you use, let's say, a third of the track on the first part of the S, and obviously you use it all on the exit, or some you don't. It's not obvious where you need to put your bike. And what happens is the only time you really learn is in a race situation, because then you realize what the other riders are doing. But then obviously other riders are on different bikes that maybe turn a little bit better, so they're able to put the bike into a different position. The fast part of Casanova, Savelli, Arrabbiata 1 and 2 is I have done thousands of laps around there, and I don't think I ever hit that section perfect once. Every time I was an inch too far or a little bit too wide where to roll out of it. It's that technical. And that's what Top Rack's up against whilst he's on a slow motorcycle with one of the longest straights. Because you come out, basically, you click fourth gear when you hit the curb on the outside. And then it's all about horsepower then. Those next two gears, that's when you need the horsepower to sort of get you through the air.
It links into itself, doesn't it? Yeah, every corner to the next, and you carry, especially through that section, carry it all through everything that you carry, and you say that inch here can lead to a foot over there. Exactly. And we saw it in the race last year, didn't we? The Marc Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia, Alex Marquez in the sprint. They were, someone would go quick into the S's, but then you could do the cutback. Actually, in the main race last year was where there was the collision, wasn't there, between Marc and Pecco? Marc ran in fast into the left-hand part of an S. Pecco tried to do that cutback, hit the rear tire, and that was the game done as far as they're concerned. It's a beautiful patch of tarmac all round, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy the racing down there. It generally gives good racing, actually.
Well, thinking Moto 3, I already can't wait. Moto 3's
Moto 3 is going to be so good.
We've had 25 in the battle, haven't we? Like that, as many as that. Moto 2, I'm looking forward to because I loved it last time out with Manu Gonzalez. All that emotion, the man everyone's forgotten about is now going like that, sticking up two fingers to the world to say, listen, I am the man. I am quality. I got beat last year, but I'm better this year. I should be a MotoGP rider. How good is that? Obviously, he's surrounded by all the young talent as well that are still vying for MotoGP rides. So yeah, all in all, it's just like like we say, one of those weekends, and the track just helps with that long straight. It usually creates big groups, big slipstream effect, and cracking races.
We've just got a few more, just a couple more bits. MSMA, we've still not heard anything about what might be going. It's about that time of year. We're expecting an announcement of some sort. You reckon that's all going on in the background? There was something, Sylvain, we discussed before coming on air, and that was Ross Brawn has been announced as becoming a director involved in the Pramac racing system. Paolo Campinotti installing. Now, Ross Brawn is a big MotoGP fan. People who don't know, long-term engineer, of course, with Ferrari for many years, and then, of course, was instrumental setting up Brawn GP, won the title with Jenson Button there, sold to Mercedes, became a director there, then went into management within the Formula One organisation itself. So it's very interesting when someone like him becomes involved in MotoGP. Although he has been loads to MotoGP, he loves it. He does genuinely love it. What's your reading of it, Sylvain? You rode for Pramac. You know Paolo well. He's built that team since 2002, I think it was, when he first, started that team with Honda. I mean, he is just someone who breathes. He obviously builds, lifts and generators. That's what Pramac do. That's what they put together as their core business. But absolutely now, his life is MotoGP, isn't it? He has dedicated a lot of time, but also a lot of money, hasn't he, to creating Pramac as a structure. So what's your reading of suddenly getting someone like Ross Brawn involved?
Well, I mean, I think that it could mean a few things. I think it could mean a few things. But you're right, Gav. The first thing is that Ross has always been passionate about MotoGP, and he's always liked MotoGP a lot, and he's been also a personal friend of Paolo Campinotti for many years. But for him to come in like an official, an official place, he's a non-executive director now. So that means that he'll be advising Pramac on obviously something very specific there, because they must have felt there was a need for it. So that means, to me, it could mean a few things. It could mean that Pramac maybe is looking to sell entirely, or maybe a part of the, like
investment,
a share of the business. Yeah, that could be one thing, and you could think of worse people to help manage this, because that's what Ross has done in the past. He sold his Braun team to Mercedes at the time, and obviously he's got a lot of experience with that kind of dealings. So it could mean that, or it could mean that he's coming to advise because they're still stalling with the Concord agreement, with the discussions with the MotoGP Sport Entertainment Group. So that could be a part of it as well. It's difficult to get a final reading into it, but there's definitely something going on. There. I mean, Ross, as far as I know, the last time I met him, it was last winter. Actually, we spent a bit of time together. We ate at the same dinner. It was great to meet him and get to talk to him. And he just seemed like a happily retired and just really happy to do things that he was enjoying.
Thanks for the invite.
So
yeah, Sylvain, that's well out of order.
I didn't distribute the invites.
Sorry, when I was just hanging out with him the other day,
it wasn't me. It just happened.
Was this one of your shooting events, or is this one
it
of
was
your
actually
debonair balls or whatever you do?
It's my good friend that has the shooting ground in E.J. Churchill. Actually, if you've not been there, it's Nye Wycombe. It's a great place to go clay shooting.
Me
and Gav are playing five-a-side.
Shooting.
And Sylvain's going shooting. I mean, this is.
Clay shooting is brilliant. It's good fun. It's a great day out. You should try it. Well, we're going to try it. We're going to try it. And we get Rob to maybe sponsor the podcast. EJ Churchill is called. It's a great place. Anyway, I think there'll be a bit of both there for Ross. It'll feel like he's got.
Has he answered this question, Gav, or is he just?
I think he knows more than he's letting on here. This sounds like a political answer from Sylvain here. Yeah, I know exactly what he's doing. Actually, Sylvain's millions that are coming in as big investment into the Pramac team. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, anyway, but he's not come there for nothing.
I know we're looking for sponsorship. We're open to sponsorship as always to the podcast, but I never think it was coming from a shooting range. I didn't know we were that.
You never know, do you? Yeah, they race cars and everything. They at the
barber jacket
range.
out.
See, Bart racing car. Actually, Rob my mate used to race bikes as well. So small world, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it very well?
That's interesting. That's interesting. There's a lot going on, isn't it? We got the one bike rule as well. What is that about? The one bike rule.
Yeah, I talk about them bringing that in. Like I do get it. Moto2 and Moto3. I think that's a bit of a non-starter in that. I mean, in doing so, you'd get rid of flag-to-flag races, and that's been one of the sacrosanct things to be able to keep the show on the road. It's not like Formula One. You come in and you can do pit stops. You don't do that. You don't do
this one. I can actually tell you what I really think about this one. Do you want me to tell you what I think about?
Yeah.
So I think this one, for me, this is the manufacturers basically proposing a rule that they don't want, but that they know that Liberty or MotoGP, what is it? The MotoGP Sport Entertainment do not want either. They don't want it even more than the manufacturers, and they're basically saying, well, if you it must mean that they are so trapped with the cash offer for the future for that Concord deal that they are having to play tactics like that and we're not talking about a lot of money there, because 1 or 2 bikes, honestly, it makes very little difference. You've got a spare bike ready anywhere in the truck, and it doesn't make a lot of difference. No way, it doesn't. So this is basically tactics, and that means that we're not everybody's getting frustrated, and they're nowhere near. They're not close at all. Because to drop things like that, it means that it's just not going forward, and it's completely locked, basically. Because nobody wants that. The manufacturers don't want it. No. You don't want to be rebuilding bikes because your rider has destroyed it, and you got a session, qualifying session half an hour later. No, you don't want to be doing that. Not in MotoGP, not at the pinnacle of the sport. No,
it would look.
I don't
silly,
see it.
Wouldn't it? I think. Yeah. Let us know what you think at Gas It Out Pod on Instagram and on YouTube. Leave your comments there. It's been a hive of activity. We haven't had a chance to check them, but we'll get to those comments as and when we can. Anything to add, chaps? Because I know we've all got bits. You might be able to hear the scaffolders outside the house. I'm just having a new ballroom fitted to the side of my mansion, of course.
Come on,
Donald.
Donald.
As you know, the West Wing is just being done. So you can probably hear that going on. Sylvain's got to go to a golf tournament for his lad.
I'm supporting my boy today. He's playing his first big junior competition at golf. So like a 3-day event. So I'm going to. I will not give him some advice. That's for sure, because I'm absolutely useless. I'm even worse than you, Neil. So
Neil is very, very handy.
No, hang on. You're useless at golf. I'm useless, and I practice all the time, so that makes it way worse.
Hey, more dangerously, Sylvain, you're clearly quite good at shooting, so I'm not arguing from now on. I'm not going to do any arguing. Neil, you got much on? You're actually heading today, aren't you?
I'm
You're
off.
going to
I'm off
Mugello
today.
early.
I'm going out a day earlier to, believe it or not, call me a loser. I'm going to have a day in Florence. I'm going to have a little walk around.
Oh,
I've never done it. I have never
city.
done it.
Are you kidding me?
I am not. Obviously, we've driven through it, Gav, in the past, sometimes on the way back from the track, trying to get out. But I'm going to get an Uber on Thursday morning, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to try and get robbed.
I'll recommend you a history of art book you should take around with you, so that you can go around all of the beautiful paintings. You get down the Uffizi. And you're gonna have such. Make sure you go and see David. Honestly, yes, you're gonna have a brilliant time down there. And on the Ponte
so you're cutting out.
I can't.
So I don't know what signal. Hello.
Right, chaps. We will reconvene on air this weekend.
Well, I'll see you in a bit. We'll see each other, won't we?
We'll see each other very soon indeed. Thank you so much for listening.
Travels.
At Gas It Out Pod, as we say, and enjoy the racing. We're on TNT Sports all weekend, and we'll see you for a review in between back-to-back races with Italy and Hungary, but you're going to want to watch Mugello. For now, though, if in doubt, gas it out, won't you?